Everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy Baseball Picks. I'm Russ Meguro 31. We got a 12 game slate, which is huge on Wednesday. So I'm just gonna really like fast forward through this here because there's so much information. I just don't want to like fry your brains with like too much in-depth commentary. So we'll do an overview of everything, give you some picks that I like, and then there's so many other options to fill in the rest. The weird thing about the slate is you don't have the Cubs and we've been hitting really well in Oakland. That's been a great series. You don't have Coors Field on the slate, and you don't have the two worst teams in baseball with the Angels and White Sox. So instead of giving us like a 6 game slate, they decided to merge the 635 6 game slate with the 710 6 game slate to give us this giant 12 game slate. But um, 2 weeks left. Maybe this is the last big slate we get. So let's not complain and get into it. So first game, San Francisco and Baltimore. Maybe a little bit of rain there. It doesn't look too bad. Birdsong and Kramer. Birdsong, not interested against Baltimore. Kramer, I'm definitely very interested in against the San Francisco team. I really lack potency. They've been mixing and matching the lineup. Just I think in the tires for next year, seeing what works. I don't believe they're in playoff contention still. So um, not really interested in them. As in Baltimore, it'd be my second favorite stack on the slate against Kramer. Atlanta and Cincinnati in Great American Small Park, wind blowing out 6 miles per hour. Schwallenbach and Junis. Schwallenbach I like, but the work factor kind of scares me. Eunice, not interested in. I don't know if he really doesn't start that much, so I don't know how deep he'd really go into the game. So Rays lineup, the Great American Small Park here, third favorite on the slate. It looked like Olson started to heat up again. Harris, even though all the injuries, they're still fighting the Mets for that final wild card game and spot and playing pretty well. So 4.61 total is one of the highest on the board tonight. And Cincinnati, I think they make the top GPP just because they're in their home park and they can hit and put up runs, especially in the conditions. Twins and Guardians, Ober and Bybee. I think neutral here. Ober, like you don't want to take pitchers against Cleveland. He has been doing good this season, but they don't strike out that much. And it's not a good matchup for that. And Bybee on the other side, the Twins are okay. I struggle a little bit with left-handed power, so Wallner, Larnish. We'll have to see who's in the lineup there, but I think he's okay in the mid range. I think both these pitchers need you like maybe 15 to 17 DK points. I just really don't like the matchup. I think they're dead even. Um, kind of like with that, just throw like Schwallenbach in between at 8-4. So if you mess with entering, fine, go for it. But I just don't see a ton of upside. Dodgers and Marlins, Landon Knack and Weathers. Marlins actually beats the Dodgers in a high scoring game last night. But Knack should do a little bit better against them. Still don't love him. So I think 150 max and Weathers I'm not even touching. Dodgers hands down top stack on the slate here, even though it's a pitcher's park. I think they will just hit really well. Um, Anybody in the lineups usually in play here. I don't love Kiki Hernandez, but the rest of them are pretty solid. And the Marlins, if you want to pick on Knack, also I think he's vulnerable. It's just hard the way you stock them here because out of the top 5 batters, like their positions all overlap, so it's kind of hard. But if you want to go like Edwards, Norby, Sanchez, it was 5 for 5 yesterday. He's been hitting really well. Berger, Bryan, like Stowers, then I'm good with that. Houston, the Padres should be another good baseball game here. Valdez and Cease, both pitchers are $300 a piece, or part $300 a piece, and we just be playing both of them. Sure, 2 pitchers for DK. But anyways, I think you look at like again 15 to 18 DK points here. Valdez has been pitching phenomenal recently. San Diego's not a great K matchup, but I think Valdez is somebody that you could strongly consider here. And Cease on the other side has been very good also. Houston does have some power lefties against him, but they haven't been as good with plate discipline as they have been in the past. So I have to see the stats now. Tucker's back in, but I think you can play both pitchers. Valdez, I like Boston Tampa Bay, you have 2 really struggling pitchers here. Haukus just hasn't really gone deep in the games, and I don't know if he's fighting through an injury or fatigue or what, but he just doesn't look good. And Puppy on the other side has been okay, but lefties here, even though it's a more of a hitter's park than the hitter park that they play in Fenway. The lefties are still pretty dangerous in Boston, but I think I gotta leave Boston 150 max GPP. And then Tampa Bay, I'm kind of interested in the cheap range, even though they're not super cheap. Like they got a couple 2K guys in the lineup, but most of them are like in the 4K line. So I'll definitely have a Tampa Bay stack against how can he continues to struggle here. Both Laos, Miranda Caminero is really coming along here, and then like Diaz and Morel to round out. Nationals and the Mets here. A little bit of rain potentially in the forecast, maybe 50%. So keep an eye on this one. Pitching park here. So DJ Hertz and Quintana. Mets are really starting to put together. They're fighting off the Braves from the wild card slot. Lindor is probably still out, but JD Martinez and the rest of his team is starting to come together and hit again. And it's a lefty. So not touching hers. And Quintana, I think, is definitely viable here. We played Mats last night, and he did his thing. You're not going to get a lot, but against Washington, but at 6.5, enough floor for a cash play for me for an SP2. If you need to go there. Washington, I think they're a little expensive on top here, but the middle lineup is really cheap if you need them. But I think I'm going to treat them more as like a leftover stack. Their total's really low. And Mets are the fourth favorite one. Love the righties here. Iglesias leading off is nice. Marte, Alonso, Vientos, Taylor. They in the Oakland stack almost took down a tournament for me last night. Detroit and Kansas City, Screwball and March. Screwball's probably top pitcher on the slate as always. I know she's kind of matchup proof here in Kansas City. It has a decent offense, but I think he'll be able to shut them down. Marsh on the other side, I kind of like this Detroit team against him. Marsh, I think, is 150 max if you want. Maybe 13 DK points you can get to, but I really wanted to probably drop down to Quintana against the Nationals for $300 less if I'm in that range. And bat wise, Detroit, I love the lefties. They've been coming together. They're fighting. They're only like a couple games out of making the playoffs. And Kansas City is you can always play their bats, but I think against Schoolball, it's more of a leverage play. Philadelphia and Milwaukee, another good matchup that could be in the playoffs. Nola and Peralta. Nola, I like him here, but I'm gonna put him down in the like fourth place out of all the payout pitchers, just because like Milwaukee can hit and they'll throw some decent lefties out there. The righties have hit righties well, and Nola has been good as Wheeler, so uh, I'm just gonna probably leave him on the shelf here. And Peralta's really struggled recently, so Philly makes for an interesting stack in GPP. There's something not right there. Hopefully, he gets it figured out before the playoffs, but we'll have to see. And this is a great test for him here, but I'm not going to play him to see if it's going to work out. Milwaukee on the other side, like I said, is 150 max. I think Nola is definitely hittable, and I play Milwaukee a lot. I like it as a young team, but I think he'll do well enough to make them like a lineup that I think is actually absolute lock. Pittsburgh and St. Louis. Pittsburgh's going with a bullpen game, not touching that. Sonny Gray on the other side should be top pitcher on the slate. Pittsburgh is just going to be leverage, and St. Louis really like them here. They've been doing pretty well, so give me Win, Burleson, Goldsmith's been okay, Arenado, Donovan, Newbar. That's where I stop. I'm not playing Walker or Siani. If you need a cheap 2.2 wraparound, then okay, try Siani. He's got a little bit of speed, but other than that, not touching him. Blue Jays and Rangers, Bowden Francis and Cody Bradford. Bowden Francis has pitched almost two no-hitters recently, and they've lost it at the end of the game. He's been absolutely amazing. He's not been on a DK main slate, so you guys haven't seen him or heard him or probably even noticed, but I think he's my favorite pitcher in the mid-range today, and I'm going to be playing a lot of him against this Texas team that has some strikeouts now and is really kind of out of the playoffs and looking towards next year. Corey Bradford on the other side, Toronto is really good against lefties, so I like them as my fifth favorite stack of the game. And the night, and they're actually besides Vlad, they're very cheap. So love me some Toronto. And Texas is just going to be a leverage stack, even though their total is higher than Toronto. I would if you bet Toronto here. I don't understand why, Texas has a higher total. Francis has been elite recently. The Toronto bullpen's not bad, and, Bradford has not been great. Well, he hasn't been awful, but I really like the right-handed power that they're gonna throw against him. So, if you look at me, a cheap catcher, a 2.9 Kirk is probably one of my favorite catching plays on the slate. Finally, wrap it up with New York and, Mariners, Cortez and Miller. Cortez, he's Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know which one you're gonna get. It's a great strikeout matchup, so it's that could be good for him. In the mid-range, his price has really fallen based on his performance. So he could be a very sneaky smash play, or he could get smashed by a Seattle team that sometimes figured out how to play baseball. It's gonna be an all right-handed lineup against him. Miller on the other side, it's always dangerous playing the Yankees. He's had a good season and is a good pitcher. I don't know which way it's going to go here. Yankees, I'm putting him down in the GPP because I do respect Miller, but and they've been a little bit cooler recently. Not as cool as Baltimore's been, but uh, Soto, Wells, Jazz, Mixon, Judge, Stanton, Torres for your five. Dominguez as a switch hitter, I like that too. It'd be cool if he like let off or something. If Torres had a day off, I'd love to see that. Definitely would try and play him there. And then the Mariners, it's just like all righty. So Robles, Rodriguez, Turner is usually cheap at first base. So Rosarena, Garver, Moore. Raleigh if he's in there. So lots of ways to go there. So let's look at some builds to get you on your way for your day. So Gray and Kramer is where I'm going to go. I'm going to play Dodgers. So give me the big three: Freeman, Betts, and Otani, and I'm going to fill in St. Louis. And you're probably going to punt catcher. And as I said, my favorite punt is Kirk, and he should work in that lineup. Their GPP, give me Philly and Detroit. You can go so many different ways here, but I just like Peralta's struggling, so give me some Philly. They fill in the middle of the infield. I was gonna go Atlanta, but it just wasn't matching up very well because everybody was like outfield on both teams. So um give me Stoddard Keith there. First, if you want to go catcher, you can go the Detroit one, Rogers, or you can go JT Realmuto. First base, I think you're probably going Torkelson there. I don't think the Philly really is a great option. Harper is only like outfield now. I don't think he's first base eligible on DK anymore. Turner, Carpenter, Green, Meadows, two of the three of those, three of three if you want to, if you're not going to play Harper or Schwarber in your outfield slot that I left open for you. So I got for you. If you have any questions, put them chat below. Hit me up by 31 on Twitter/X. If you want more information on FSi DFS, go to description video and there's a link to our pricing page there. Very cheap stuff. We got youth Champions League soccer, WNBA, baseball today. As low as $6 a day. You can play $3 just to get into one sport, and it's like $25 a week for everything. So very, very cheap pricing. And if you guys helps back, like, subscribe to our channel, share with your friends. So McKinley will have a video tomorrow, I believe, and I think I'll be back on Friday or Saturday to finish off the week. Plus, we'll have NFL and NASCAR. So thanks for watching. Good luck in your contest. Hope you have an amazing Wednesday. And I'll see